Ektachrome, the legendary color-positive film stock produced by Kodak. Pretentious artsy types the world over have long been obsessed with this slide film because unlike your typical color-negative film, this stuff looks normal right after it's developed.
But there's a dark side to slide film.
A quick Google search reveals that many an internet loser claimed this film to be utterly unusable after its expiration date. Well, guess what? I just happen to have 7 rolls of Ektachrome 200D that expired in 1981.
8 years before I was even born.
So what do you want to do?
You want to trust them dweebs on Reddit?
Or you want to show them soy boys who's boss?
Hello, Internet. I'm Nick, and this is 3 ways to develop expired Ektachrome. Conventional internet wisdom says that with normal film, for every decade it's been expired, you should overexpose it by 1 stop to compensate. But for slide film, a bunch of internet brainiacs say shoot it at box speed, cross your fingers, and hope for the best. So what am I supposed to do? I figured I'd bracket it, shoot it everywhere from box speed all the way down to ISO 1.
I guess let's go dev this. Let's see if we get any pictures.
The first and most obvious method for developing expired Ektachrome would be to use E6 chemicals. That's what you're supposed to develop Ektachrome in. I'm using Cinestill's CS6 at-home development kit and their D9 dynamic chrome developer.
First thing I gotta do is dilute the first developer.
Cinestill provides documentation for 3 different possible dilutions for the first developer. I'm using the 1 to 3 dilution because it's supposed to give you the most latitude and be the best for scanning.
Let's see. Pretty blank to me.
Looks pretty blank to me.
I'm sorry, guys. I promised you 3 ways to develop expired Ektachrome, and I can't even get the first one right.
Just kidding.
Ta-da! We got images, we got pictures. Thank you very much, Reddit. Granted, it's not something you'd want to mount in a slide and project up onto your wall. They're very low contrast in blue cast, but here's what they look like with a bit of color correction. This is very promising, and it's showing me that I can shoot it around ISO 3. Another point is I didn't use Fresh Developer for this. I had just developed some fresh Ektachrome that I took on a camping trip a few months back, and I reused that developer. For reference, here's what some fresh Ektachrome looks like right out of the same dilution. And in case you're wondering, no, Ektachrome is not supposed to look this blue cast. I don't know what's going on. A lot of people talk a lot of crap about Cinestill's E6 kit. In the future, if I ever buy any more, I might get Jobo or something that's a true 6-bath process. Okay, with that initial test out of the way, we're sitting around ISO 12 to 3, but since I used some exhausted developer, I need to verify my results with some fresh stuff, so let's take some more pictures. So while Sarah was busy working away with her day job, I decided to make a nuisance out of myself in the background of her Zoom call and take pictures of my puppy boy. To verify my results, I still bracketed it all the way down to ISO 1 and then even further to see what I would get, and then I used Fresh Dev this time. Well, let's see if we get some Walker puppy pictures. There he is waiting patiently to see if his likeness will be preserved in E6 expired chemistry. Well, expired film, expired emulsion.
Hey, I can already see it.
Are you gonna get the picture?
Look at that cute puppy boy, he's just amazing. And yeah, using the Fresh Dev definitely helped get a bunch of detail out of this, but still, super faded, super low contrast, not something you'd want to mount and project up on your wall. Okay, now it's time for one more test because I didn't write down any of my exposure times. Plus we used a warming filter this time to fight the blue cast. And yeah, they're still really messed up, what do you expect? But I think the warming filter is helping. So we took exposures at ISO 6, ISO 3, then ISO 12.
We know, ISO 6, 3, and then 12. Thank you, baby.
Science!
After this studio session, we got plenty of good results out there on the ranch. Here's a few examples. Yeah, the color casts are still weird, but it seems like the best picture is always at ISO 3. Nothing's really getting blown out, and things get a little bit muddy if we shoot at ISO 12 or 6. Next up is method 2, cross-processing. In C41. If you don't know what cross-processing is, it means you take a film and you develop it in some type of chemicals that it wasn't intended to be processed in. In this case, we're processing positive film, slide film, Ektachrome, in chemicals that are meant for developing color-negative films, like Portra or Ektar. Anyway, since I was sick of shooting around home, we decided to get out there and hit the road. It's getting late. I gotta get this done.
Hey, I found a spot. We're gonna take the picture. If I don't get run over.
And would you look at that? Sure, the colors are a little funky, they're not perfect, but that latitude. This is an unedited scan right out of Negative Lab Pro. But there's a problem. This is the negative. It looks black as the night. You can't see anything through it. To scan it on my A7 III, each shot took 6 seconds at f8 ISO 100. The problem is I pushed the development time to 4 minutes and 55 seconds, which raised the base fog on the rest of the film, making it hard to even see the frame lines. Anyway, on to the next location. We're here to take pictures. First, we're gonna start off with this lion, because I think I'll be winded by the time I get up to the cross. Look at this lion. I love the desaturated look and the hypergrain. I can't believe we're getting this much information out of such dense negatives. I got the lion and the cross. Composition, baby. Okay, well, I'm just blowing through this roll. Am I looking stupid?
Look off into the sunset. No, not at the sun, the opposite way.
Guess what, internet? It was too dang hot outside, so we're back in the studio. To keep this a little bit scientific, we're recreating the same shot.
All right, you ready?
Do I look cute?
Yeah, you look like you're in focus.
I said cute.
Did I have a sparkle in my eye? These are still the unedited scans straight out of Negative Live Pro, and despite the grain and the fog, I like the colors. Up. So this was my first time ever cross-processing film, and I was pretty pleased with the results, except for the fog of the film. To combat this, I decided to take the advice of my buddy Nolaroid Film on Instagram and try to do some pull processing. The opposite of push processing, it's when you develop the film for less time because you overexposed it in camera. But with all these exposure tests, I was kind of going a little cuckoo bananas in the kitchen. Would you like to see the results, internet? Hey, guess what? I can see frame lines this time through the thing. Maybe it's not all a waste. We got frame lines. I can actually see the pictures now, but the end result doesn't seem that much better than before. There's still a lot of grain and there's some blue cast seeping in from the sprocket holes. But this felt very promising, so I decided to pull it as far as I can and develop at room temperature. And here's the result. Like I said before, a pull process is usually when you subtract time from the development cycle, but you can also subtract temperature. So rather than heating up the chemicals to 102 degrees, I just let it rip at room temp. And while there was a lot of information in the negs, there wasn't much color. Everything came out sepia toned, kinda old-timey. I mean, it's a vibe if you're into it, but if I wanted black and white, I would have just developed in HC 110. Which brings me to the final method for developing expired Ektachrome. Let's say you've got some old slide film laying around, and you want to develop it into a positive, but you don't have any E6 chemicals. If you've got any black and white developer and C41 chemicals, guess what? Method 3, DIY reversal. Big shout out to Matt Clark at Blow Your Kazoo on Instagram for helping me out with all the documentation on this. So what's this DIY reversal process? Let me tell you. First, you develop your slide film in any old black and white developer. I'm using HC 110 at dilution B, which is 1 part developer to 31 parts water. Then you rinse it, take it out of the tank, expose it to light, put it back in the tank, then develop it in color chemistry, then you bleach fix it, and you got yourself a positive. Holy crap! No way! Holy crap, it worked! And honestly, I think it looks better than the normal Cinestill E6 chemicals. Yes, they're still flat as heck and need tons of color correcting, but I can't believe that this 43-year-old film withstood this MacGyver-esque DIY process. I am blown away. It just goes to show that you can't trust everything you read on the internet. There's always a bunch of brainiacs out there that want to tell you what to do and what not to do. What do you guys think? Do you want to run out there and buy some old expired Ektachrome now? Well, there you have it. Despite what the nerds on Reddit say, I have successfully shown not 1, but 3 methods for successfully developing ancient Ektachrome. Thank you to everyone who voted in that old reel 3 months ago. We have some old expired Ektachrome.
If you really want me to suffer,
Vote for this, but please don't.
I finally got around to shooting the Ektachrome. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Birds of Steel, I don't know where you are, but don't worry, Super Double X is coming soon. With holiday season fast approaching, be on the lookout for when I finally get my act together and put merch out there. In the meantime, please, please, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, ring that bell icon, all that stuff. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, internet. I'm Nick. I can finally put this one to bed.